Rachel. Welcome to my herb garden. By the time you see this video, this should be filled with herbs. It's one of my favorite parts of summer is fresh herbs for cooking, and then whatever I don't use gets dehydrated or frozen for as much as I can throughout the year. Now, I am going to switch it up a little bit and make this mostly perennial from now on. So I'm going to be adding in some more oregano, chrysanthemum, echinacea, Roman chamomile. Then I already have quite a bit of spearmint and peppermint established over here that's just kind of taking over, which is fine with me because I love them. And the chives are already up right here. My daughter loves to snack on these and I use them for all sorts of things. So yeah, we're going to make an herb garden, or I think I'm going to call this summer herb garden soap today, and it's going to have some rosemary in it as well as peppermint from our garden, and then I'm going to put in some aloe from our house plants as well. So I'm going to walk you through this process of how I make this. Let's head to the kitchen.
First, we're going to start off with making some aloe water to add in with the lye solution. So I have tons of aloe plants at home. All started from a baby plant that I got back in 2018, and I keep repotting. I've seriously gotten like over 100 plants out of this, and all I do is cut off some of the stems and soak them in water for a little bit and then blend them up with some distilled water for a little bit until it's nice and smooth, and then I freeze them into cubes and add that in with my lye solution, probably about 50-50 aloe water to distilled water. And I also saved a bunch of yarrow out of our yard from last summer. I made a yarrow, hemp, and aloe soap last summer with some wildflowers on top, and including some clover from our yard. And it was so beautiful. I did end up leaving it unscented, but I wanted to do a scented aloe and herbal type of soap. So I saved some of that yarrow to sprinkle on top of this one as well. And then some of the mint from my herb garden is mixed in the middle to give it kind of a fun green texture in the center, and I did mix it to a pretty thick trace. Normally when you see me spinning my hand blender around, half the time I'm just using it like a spatula. I'm not even turning it on when I'm mixing, because the hardest thing about making soap, I feel like, is the tendency to over mix. It happens to me a lot, and I see it happen to a lot of other people too. So, but for this particular one, I actually wanted it to be a little bit thicker. And the essential oil blend kind of accelerated trace on this as well. It's mostly rosemary and peppermint, and then a little bit of marjoram and basil in it. So the perfect rounded out blend. I feel like all the notes kind of come through at different points, and it feels really nice. Rosemary and mint always pair really well together, and I feel like marjoram is one of those essential oils nobody talks about. It's kind of strong and distinct, so you don't want to use very much of it, but it is nice just in small amounts, especially with something that's themed kind of like this. And of course, basil is always a good one as well. I actually have another basil video coming up soon in just a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. I am definitely in love with how that one turned out. So as I mentioned at the beginning, my goal this year is to grow a lot more herbs than I did before and try to get as many of them to be perennial as possible. I want to do some for medicinal purposes and then just to make more teas, because we love to drink tea and it'd be really fun to have it locally. But then I also want to have more flowers available for pollinators, because eventually we would like to get into beekeeping. I just started the research process on that, so I'm guessing it'll be another year or two before I feel fully ready to take that on. But hey, it's all part of the homesteading journey, and I feel like that's the best thing about life, is just we're always learning new things. It doesn't matter how old you are. You don't have to go to school. All you need to do is read and watch and learn and talk to other people, and we can all learn from each other's experiences, which is super fun. So I just did a little spatula swoop-de-doop here since it was so thick to kind of mix it all in, and now I'm going to texture the top.
So I have a lot of work ahead of me, as you can see. I want to dig up a lot more of this rock and the plastic and put in some better soil underneath because it's a lot of rocky clay right now. So I'll give you an update later in the summer of how all this turns out. And I have a girl that's going to make some custom little rocks for me that has the different herb names. So I think this is going to be super fun and beautiful. It's just like a little piece of heaven on earth to me. Just growing as much of your own food as you can, getting close to nature, getting your hands in the soil. That is actually so good for you. There is natural microbiomes in there that literally provide like a calming effect to your body. So I think that was how we were made to be, is to be working the earth. So if you've never tried growing herbs, you could even do it inside in a window. Pick one of your favorites, give it a go. I'm trying lemongrass for the first time this year, so I'm really excited about that because it's hard to find locally. And I'm even going to try to grow some of my own loofah, I think, out with our squash area. So stay tuned. I'll give you some updates later in the summer. So this is the final product. Just a little hint of mint in the middle. I'm pretty pleased with how these turned out. A very nice, lovely herbal blend. If you've never tried anything like this, I would highly encourage you to. Let me know in the comments below how it goes or what your favorite herbs are. I love to hear from all of you guys. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I will see you in the next one soon.